Awesome. So in the morning, Joy took us through a very good introductory module. We were looking at introduction to Linux, and that was actually a good one. We hit our first debugging phase when the lab refused to cooperate. So at least we were forced to do what? We were forced to do a bit of some debugging, which was very good. You'll discover hata mkifika kwa job, debugging is a very big part of what you'll be doing. So when things are not working, always put on your debugging hat and get to debug. So don't shy away from debugging. Debugging is very, very good. So we started with introduction to Linux. Right now we are going to do Linux command line. And in this module, we will do a bit of some lecture, then and a demo, and then we'll do a lab, and then there will be a KC, and then we'll be done with that. And then tomorrow in the morning, we'll be going to users and groups. So this week, this week and part of next week, we are on Linux. So remember that the things that we are teaching you and the knowledge that we're trying to pass down to you guys is actually cumulative. It is cumulative, and that is very, very important. So don't miss a class. And when we tell you go and try something out, please try it out. Thank you to those who are honest enough to tell us nimekwama hapa, and we were able to sort you over lunch. I know right now you are doing very, very well, and you've been able to see your things running. I believe there are 2 people that I have scheduled a session with after this class. So we will still revisit Labiajana and make sure we sort you. Okay, so the Linux command line. Let us look a bit at our notes. Did I open the notes squarely? Let me see. Yes. So the notes are here. Okay, so the Linux command line. Linux fundamentals. Joy had also mentioned that Linux is actually like a foundational knowledge that you guys need to have if you're planning to work in the cloud. Why Linux? Linux, because most of the servers that we have across different cloud platforms use Linux. You see, most of them use Linux. So it's important for you to know how to deal with this. And also, Linux is also a very good tool. Is it a tool or what? Okay, Linux as an operating system is very powerful, especially for guys who are into, for example, you want to specialize in areas like DevOps or in systems administration. So systems administration, DevOps, all those require you to have a fairly good understanding of Linux as an operating system and how to navigate your way around it. So that is very, very important. And in the morning class, Joy went into the details of showing us how to, of explaining to us the workflow when you turn on a computer, all the way to the time that now you are ready now to even start using that computer. And now, in this module that we are going to cover this afternoon, we will learn the following. So by the end of this module, you are supposed to be able to describe the login workflow, explain the Linux command syntax, perform basic operations at the command line, and then explain standard input, standard output, and standard error. So those 3. So those are the objectives that we seek to meet by the end of what we are doing here. By the end of what we are doing here in this module. So Linux login workflow. Okay. So again, when we were doing our lab, you guys happen to have seen that the class had to be split into 2, where Joy was sorting guys that were using Mac and Linux, and I was sorting guys that are using Windows. You see, guys that are using Windows. So you find that there are people with different operating systems, using different operating systems, and even in organizations. And maybe I can just mention this in passing. In AWS, in the likes of Google Cloud, those places you'll find Linux is heavily used. And then when you go to Azure, you'll find that there is some instances where Windows is also heavily used more than Linux. So it is important for you also, as you develop be fluid enough to understand these different operating systems and their use cases and where they can be used and where they are used mostly. You see, when you look at a job description and then you see a good understanding of Linux operating system or Windows operating system, you really need to find your way around it and just get to understand. Good thing is that for restart, Linux takes a fairly good amount of time just to okay, the program in itself has apportioned a very good section for Linux, which gives you a very good understanding, good working understanding that you can now build on. If you want to deepen your understanding later, you can build on what we are giving you right now. And also, I think it's also worth sharing that Linux, this module, it will not feature in your CCP exam. This module will not feature in your CCP exam. So, but the fact that it will not feature does not mean that it is less important. You know, it does not mean that it is less important. As a cloud engineer, you have to understand how to operate with Linux operating system. That's why we are taking time to talk about it. That one I had to throw it in there. So in this section, you learn about the Linux login workflow. So the login prompt. So when you're trying to log in, kawaida, when you're trying to log in, you'll be required to put in your username and password, which is verified against what the system has in file. So this is the process that we call, there is authorization and there is authentication and there is access. So auth and auth, authorization and authentication. Does anybody know the difference between the two? Niambie hapo kwa chat. If you know the difference between authorization and authentication, niambie hapo kwa chat. Somebody? Authentication and authorization. Now that we're talking about login, that is a very, very important question. Ivy says authentication verifies who a user or system is, confirming their identity, while authorization determines what an authenticated user is allowed to do or access within a system. I like that. Thank you very much, Ivy. That is very good. Abby, authentication verifies who a user is, confirming their identity, while authorization determines what an authenticated user is allowed to do or access within a system. I remember there was this time that I met this question in an interview, that you're told to distinguish between authorization and authentication, and then you are told to explain that difference to a non-techie person. Explain it to a non-techie person. So if you are faced with such a question, before I give you the answer of how I used it, and Joy has shown us how to explain these things in the example that she has been giving in class, explaining the unfamiliar using the familiar. So can somebody help us understand authentication and authorization using any everyday example? Something that you come across every day that you can use to explain. Say, I am interviewing you and I'm telling you, that's one of the key questions. That is what stands between you and the job that you are applying for. Can you distinguish between authorization and authentication using everyday scenarios or examples? Somebody? Nataka mtu unmute anaongea. Or you can type kwa chat. I'm waiting for an example. There's an example that I want. There is an explanation I want. And you guys should learn as early as now how to answer these questions, because by the end of this course in its entirety, you should be able to take interviews and ask them. So we are giving you an opportunity to do a practice here. Say we cannot just go technical throughout. Somebody has unmuted. Kuna mtu anaongea? Let's see. So authentication, verify identity, authorization, grant success. A first step follows successful authentication, password, OTPs, biometrics. Those are examples of authentication. Authorization, role, success, control is policies, confirms who you are. Authentication defines what you can do or see. That is good. Okay, so okay, example. The example that I gave was this. The example that I gave was this.
Patrick,
Yes.
can I give an example?
Yes, please do.
So, just like the meeting we're having, we need a meeting ID and maybe the passcode, login. And then for the screen sharing privileges, we need to be authorized to share a screen. Yeah.
Excellent. That's a very good example. That's a very good example based on what we are doing at this time. That's a very good example. Now, the example I gave myself during that time, yes, so this is what I explained. I said authentication is when a guest is coming into a house. When you knock the door, you identify yourself. You say, I am so and so, and I am going to this place. So I am so and so, that is your username. I am going to this place, that is the password. You get access into the house. Once you are inside the house, you will access what you will access by you entering the house. Maybe it is the sitting room and the common areas, like maybe the shared washrooms and stuff like that. But you are not authorized. You are not allowed to access, say, the master bedroom, the children's room, maybe the kitchen, or again, it depends on the level of your familiarity with the host. But those areas are not, there are places that you're not authorized to go. So you are authorized to enter the sitting room. You're authorized to enter the sitting room. You've been authenticated. You've been authenticated, given access into. Ukishaingia, you are in the sitting room. Bafu unaweza enda ndio, but the bedrooms, no, those ones you can't go. But compare another person. This one now is the child of the house. The child of the house can get into the house. Once they are into the house, they can access the same lobby of the sitting room where you are at. They can go to their kitchen and they can go to their room. So they are authorized to go to their room because they belong to the house. You see? And now consider, and these same children you might find in some houses, I don't know, but in some houses, you might find that they are not allowed to go into their parents' master bedroom, or stuff like that. But now, number 3, now get this third person. This is now the owner of the house, the mother or the father. The mother or the father can access the common room. Everything that these other first 2 users can access, they can access. And then they can also access what? Their master bedroom. You see that authorization. So when you think about it that way, it will give you an easier time when you'll be coming to those other topics in the future about identity and access management, how you define who can access what. Who can access what. So as you just said, authentication, first of all, it tells the system who you are. Once you've given the right username and the right password, you can get in. Then after you've gotten in, what can you do, or what can you access, or what are you allowed to do within that system? So all that is how you can actually distinguish these two. So when we come and start talking about our login, that was a digress, but when we come and we start talking about our login, you can see here in this screen, we have been asked, first of all, we have already inputted our username. And for guys who are new to using Terminal, you'll discover that when you are trying to type your password, the password might not be visible to you. The password might not be visible to you. That is like a security feature, but just type it right. If you type it right and you press enter, it will do what? It will allow you it will log you in. It will log you in. So depending on the kind of password that you put, that you key in, access will either be granted or denied. So if you give the right password, the password that is already in the system file, you see, because when you key in a password, it is compared with what is already in the system. So if what you have keyed in and what is in the system is the same, then you'll be allowed access. But if it is different, you'll be denied access. I hope that one makes sense. And what you can see here, this is a CentOS. And again, Joy told us about the different Linux distributions. CentOS is just one of them. There is the Debian, there is Fedora, there is Ubuntu, there is Kali Linux, and the rest. There are so many. So that's like the login screen. That's like the login screen. So here for notes, we can read and say, after a network connection is made, you can connect by using a program like PuTTY, what we did in the morning, or by using the terminal on Mac or X or S or Linux. You will encounter the login prompt. All Linux sessions begin with the login process. That is the default authentication process. Linux sessions start with the user entering their username at the prompt. The login prompt is used to authenticate, prove the user's identity before using a Linux system. When the password is typed, it does not echo. To echo is to be displayed, so it does not echo. That's what I've just told you. It does not echo. A line of text isn't displayed. The username is checked against /etc/.password file. You see, /.password file, which is stored in the /etc directory. You know, so the password, the username that you have entered is checked against the /etc/.password file, which is stored in the /etc directory. The file represents an individual user account and contains the following fields, which are separated by a colon. Number 1, you'll have the username or login name. Number 2, encrypted password. Number 3, the user ID. Number 4, the group ID, if the user belongs to a group. Number 5, user description. Number 6, user's home directory. And number 7, user's login shell. User's login shell. Most of these things are just for your understanding. Just understand them as they are. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Then the username is checked against /etc/password file. So there is a file called /etc/password, which is found in the /etc directory. So that file, like you can get, for example, login C-Salazar. So this Salazar might be like the username that is now stored in that file that you're talking about. The password is checked against /etc/shadow file. Now see that password, the user, we've said that the username is checked against /etc/password passwd. Then the password is checked against /etc/shadow file. You see, /shadow file. And then again, the screen that we have here, it just shows us, for example, you've already logged in and now you have keyed in your password. Now, PWD. PWD command is a utility for printing the current working directory. PWD in full is, for those who are taking notes, PWD in full is present working directory. Present working directory, as in you're trying to ask yourself, in which directory am I currently? You see, in which directory am I currently? Let me see if I can demonstrate that in the simplest way. In the simplest way, that one I don't even need to go far. So let me get my desktop. Let me see. That is too big. That's too big. Just a second. Wacha nione kama itakubali kufanya PWD, where are we at? You see now, present working directory. So it shows you where you are currently. Can this be big? That one cannot be bigger than that. So present working directory. So it shows me that this is the directory where I'm at. You see, that's where I'm at. So I want to change my directory. CD. Let me see if I'll get ls first. Let me see where we are at. Yes, so CD, we say that CD shows you where you are at the moment, and then LS can help you to list all the files and the directories that are, okay, directories are just like folders, all the files and folders that you have within your current working directory. So those are like the first two commands. The first two commands. I am not sure if we will do a deep dive into the command, but right now we are doing the command line, and we will come across some of these commands. So one of the commands that we've looked at is the present working directory, PWD, which shows the current working directory. So during the logging workflow, kwa notes tunasema the name is checked against what we've said, etc/password file, and the password is checked against etc/shadow file. The username field has a maximum of 32 characters. The username field has a maximum of 32 characters. To avoid any confusion, avoid using initial capitalization in username. Avoid using initial capitalization in username. For example, use the word something like Salazar. You see everything here is in lowercase. It's not the same. So this username is not the same as this. The way Linux understands usernames, this username is not the same as this. Why? Because of capitalization. This has the S capitalized. This does not have the S being capitalized here. Then Linux has moved the user's password into a separate file that we call the /etc/shadow, because the user's password is stored in the etc/shadow file. A placeholder is used in this etc/password as a reference. No, just the fact that what this sentence here means, fact that the password has been moved to this different path. This different path, we have a placeholder in the original place, with that .psswd as our placeholder. It is a placeholder that is used as a reference. So anytime you key in, you are keying in your password, what will happen is this placeholder will be replaced by the original value that is in the shadow file. So the reading of your password to compare what you've entered versus what is in the system will be checked against what is in the shadow file. I hope that is making sense. So that's the flow. You key in your username, it is checked against the /passwd file. You key in the password, it is checked against /etc/shadow file. That is just the important bit. And these things, if you want to go deep into Linux, there is a course on Linux that is offered by the Linux Foundation for Linux system administrators. That is where you get deep into this stuff. But for the purposes of our class and our understanding, that is good enough. The login workflow. So the user's profile is loaded from files that are stored in user's home directory. So that the user's home directory is found at /home/username/.bashrc. You see that one. And then it can also be found under the history, bash.history and bash.profile. Now, the user's present working directory will be their own home directory. If I am user part, then it means that my present working directory, when I am just starting to work, you see here home, it's very possible for you to get that this home, instead of naming it as home, or no, sorry, all are named as home. Then after home, my username will be here. I've said I'm part. So it will be home/part/that, home/part/this, or home/ivy/that, you see, or home/felix/that. So that is how hata ukiangalia the normal, the common operating system, wacha tujiita common, not your Windows. Hata ukiangalia ni zetu, all of them zinakuanga na hizo slashes, like what I showed you here. Let me see if I can get it. I hope I've not closed it. You see like here, C/users/PC. You see that? So it shows you your current working directory. So here it is generally talking about users, because I have not really defined which user is currently using this PC at this point. But if I had mentioned a user named part, this is my own PC, so I don't even need to create users inside it. I just use it as is. But now if I had named, so it will be C/user or user part or part/ PC or /document or /desktop, depending on where I'm at. You understand? Depending on where I'm at. So that is that. The user is presented the command prompt. The user's current working directory will be their home directory. That one we've talked about. Linux command prompt. In this section, you'll learn about Linux command prompt. Let us see what we have. We've talked about this login. This is the username. Remember, capitalization. Use small letters. Password. We are not seeing the password here in as much as it has been. It has been keyed in because it does not echo. And I've told you why. This is actually a security feature that has been baked into the terminal for the sake of protecting the guys that have this password, the user. Then you see, once you have logged in, then you come to see, now it now takes in a combination of your username and where you are at. And then now see this present working directory, PWD. So when you click PWD, it tells you, like, for example, here you are at home inside your user, you know. So this is the user of the system at the moment, C_Salazar. Then now we have username at hostname, blah, blah, blah. We continue. And then now here is the explanation of what we've just done. The default shell in Linux is bash. Bash. So bash, I believe Joy had told us that bash is the born again shell. I've been asking myself why it is called that way. Kama unajua mbona inaitwa born again shell, tuweke hapo kwa chat. It will help just to, at least tukue na kitu ya kuongelelea tukienda mahali penye watu wanaongelelea kuhusu Linux. Unaweza brag, unajua born again shell ni nini, which provides the command prompt. Then the Linux command prompt or command line is a text interface to your Linux computer. It is commonly referred to as shell, terminal, console, or prompt. The default shell contains the username and the user's home directory, has the same name as the user, which it does by default. So you see, our user was C_Salazar. Then again, you see now our username by default imechukua the same. So that is the home directory that we had. And then, although this format is common, it is changeable and not always consistent in different Linux distribution. No, Linux shell is not the same as Git bash. It is not. What is the difference? Let me search for us the difference between Linux shell and Git bash. Any devs in the house that are familiar with this, mnaweza katusaidia hapo pia as I search. So what I am reading, Dan, and thank you for that question. What I'm reading here, wanasema Linux shell and Git bash are related but not the same thing. They are related but they're not the same thing. So for Linux shell, a shell is the command line interface used in Linux or Unix system. It interprets and runs user commands such as ls, cd, make directory, and common Linux shells include the born again shell, that's the bash, zsh, ksh, and fish. Your London meisikia. Joy mentioned these other ones in the morning. It runs natively inside Linux and interacts directly with the Linux kernel and file system. That is the Linux shell. That's the Linux shell. Now, when we come to Git bash, it is a Windows program that emulates a Linux bash environment. Where was I? Yeah, it's a Windows program that emulates a Linux bash environment, and it comes with Git for Windows and provides Linux-like commands. So you can run the commands like ls, pwd, grep, so developers can work comfortably on Windows. Developers can work comfortably on Windows. That's what they are saying. Do you guys agree or what? Let me paste for you these differences for your own consumption. I have a table here. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Salem. If you want to output the shell you are using, do echo, $, and then shell in capital. So those are some of the differences that I have come across between those two. I hope that makes sense. There is something that you said here. It is not me. Artificial mirror. It is not me. It is research. Research has shown that there is something like that. So I don't know if it exists or not, but let me do a normal Google search. Let's see. What are they saying? Yeah, it's there, but the fish shell is there. Fish is a small and user-friendly command line shell for Linux, macOS, and the rest of the family. You see, it is a small and user-friendly command line shell for Linux, macOS, and the rest of the family. So it's there. It is there. So it's there. So see stories are Java. Oops, see stories are Java. Then let's look at the syntax. Command syntax example. Linux command. Remember we did man in the morning. So man command shows the man page. Man command shows the man page, and then we have the -I option is to perform a case-sensitive search. It is to perform a case-sensitive search, and then something like who am I? Who am I is an argument. Who am I argument is what is being searched for. You see. So let me see. Watu wametoka lunch akifikiria tu chakula. Man -I am I. So what the man command does, it shows the help documentation for other Linux commands. And then the I option, the I flag. Just a second. In full. One sec. Who am I? Yes, so you can actually check because this one has the man itself. The man itself, man command shows it's like a manual having the help documentation, everything that you're looking for. Kuna mtu ame-unmute anataka kuongea? Okay. Please mute yourself. Nikisikia mtu akiongea, maybe unataka kutuambia kitu, tukupatia opportunity. So we have seen that this one tunambonia help documentation, and then you can introduce an option, and then who am I argument is what is being searched for. So this is what you're looking for. And then now we have a command, what you want Linux to do. The command is what you want Linux to do. The option is used to modify the command. When you follow the command with an option, and then the argument is what the command, what the command acts on. What is it acting on? You have this command, you have this option, and then you have an argument. So that is like the syntax of how you're supposed to write your command. It is a combination of those three: command, option, argument. Then here again, explaining it in common terms, command is drive. You're telling this car to drive. Option is to turn on headlights. Drive, turn on headlights. Then the argument is a car. If it drives, it can turn on headlights, then possibly it's what? It's a car. Something like that. Let us see what the notes are saying so that we understand that slide. The command syntax is case sensitive, and that one we've talked about. And I'm telling you, especially when you are writing your commands and when basically commands. When you're writing commands, try as far as possible to write them in small letters where possible, unless it is demanded that you do maybe a camel case or capitalization. But where nothing has been specified, small letters will always get you where you need to go. So most commands in Linux follow syntax rules depending on the command. The syntax comprises the command itself, an option, and an argument. The way you've seen Apogee, if you review the example above, this structure is reflected. The best way to describe the command syntax is as follows. Command is what you want Linux to do. Option, it modifies that command. And then argument is what the command acts on. So for example, consider the analogy of a car. If you drive a car, drive will be the command. An option will be noted as turn on the headlights, and the argument is a car. Again, to reinforce this concept, a car was used as an example. So the command in that example is drive. The option is to turn on the headlights. The argument is a car. The argument is a car. So, okay. Hapa wanasema tu nini? This is just attribution ku acknowledge mwenye alitengeneza hiyo slide au mwenye alichora hiyo image. So, useful commands. So we are going to start looking at commands one by one just to understand a few things. Let me see if my lab is still running. Nilikuwa nimeanzisha ahead of you guys. Where is it? It is not running. Oh, yeah, it is. Let me redo it. Just a sec. Don't start your labs as yet. Oh, yeah. Start your labs. I told you guys to remind me at the 20-minute point. Start your lab. Tuangalie size. I am busy wasting saliva here explaining Linux, and people are talking about Omena. Yeah, okay, sawa tu. Kufundisha Linux, kufundisha shells. Shells at the shisho. Kufundisha hizo ma shells when guys wametoka lunch. It's interesting. But anyway, let's see. Where is my notes? Okay. Give me a second. So that error page, we normally get it if we had just run another lab. So ukipata hiyo, just click that blue thing that I've clicked and come back and just redo it again. That should sort it. Ukipata error, unasema tu tunakusort. Najua hiyo nimeenda haraka. Mtu ajona chenye nimefanya. But that's how you get around that. So I'm going to fire up an EC2. I hope there is one that has been provisioned for us, and I hope this one is working, because where? I would have done this process over lunch, but over lunch tulikuwa tuna handle office hours. So you will bear with me kidogo. The same command host. Command host, will you work this time? Will you work this time? Let me just try and see. I've already copied that. Where is my Chaniashe puti kwanza, run it. And as it runs, I come to my details. I go and get my file. I really hope this one will work. PPK. Oh, I have so many of you. Give me a second. Downloads. Let's try and delete this one first. Yes. I think that I sorted it. Let's redo that. No details. Show. What have I just done? There goes. Download PPK. There you go. So we have it there. That's okay. Let us try and see. These things will start coming second nature to you. Mtakuwa mnaona hizi vitu kwa rahisi. Once you've done it over and over again. That's my time to leave. But because I'm in this session, let me just do 60. Just in case I... Yes, sir.
Can I follow this lab if I not do the morning?
Sorry?
I was not able to do the one in the morning. Can I follow this one now?
We told you to stay behind so that we sort you over lunch. You are assuming that by now everybody was able to do the morning lab.
I didn't even start. I was not in a position to start it. I was waiting for the recording, then I can do it. Can I follow this one from scratch? Or it is too...
Okay. Let me give you a better offer. Let me give you a better offer because again I don't want to rush you. Why don't you join me and the other two after this session? When we release guys from this session, you can remain behind with the other two so that we can now do it pole tu vizuri. Is that okay?
I will try. Patrick, niko wajia hapa stima ni shida kidogo.
Okay. So you want to follow?
So I will watch the recording either tonight or tomorrow if it comes.
Sawa. We will make sure that you get... Wait a minute. Am I recording? Yes, I'm recording. Yes. So we'll make sure that you get the recording. Pole kwa hiyo mambo ya stima. Okay. So what have we done? We have already done that. Process gani imebaki kwa watu wa Windows? If someone remembers, what remains? What have I not done?
You have not authenticated.
No, I have not authenticated. Very good. Very good. So we go and pick our file. This one. Bring it here. Fingers crossed. Let us hope that this one works. Right? Open. Please don't give me stories. Accept. Now see, again, same problem. So we will not even waste our time there. We already know what the problem is. The problem is with that console. The problem, no, not console. The problem is with that EC2, the one that has been provisioned for us. So this is why I told, that was Mohammed, right? I told Mohammed that it will be ngumu for me to go pole because we have quite a lot to cover in this section. So let me show you guys. And by the time you guys are done with this course, you'll be spinning these things faster than I'm going to do. You'll be spinning them faster than I am going to do. So let me call it console server. We will use Linux. Leave that as is. Someone remind me the name of the key. What was the key pair name that we were using? Lab? Ilikuwa najita?
Sisi tulitumianga Lanly.
No, the key pair.
Lab user.
Oh, lab user, sorry.
Lab user, sawa, lab user. And then for me, because I'm in Windows PPK, we create that. Oh, have I created? Yes, I've created. There you go. Then for the sake of peace, let me take the advice I gave you guys and implement it also myself. Where is my, where is my file? See, I'm opening this thing and I funguki. Oh, there you go. Tip, 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 tip. Let's go to downloads. So the one that we've just created near you. So let me get rid of this. Is it confused? That's what brought me there. Good. Then that is LabUser, right? LabUser. And then our SSH is already good to go. Tip, 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 tip. We are not changing anything else here. Okay, let me just name this one Landly because someone mentioned it. I should check it to Landly. I believe everything is okay. Okay, let's launch that instance. Let us launch that instance. Hey, Daniel. Hey, Daniel. Where, Daniel?
Suggestion.
I have seen you. Nimekuona vile unakuja bro. Nimekuona. It's a good suggestion. And actually what you guys will be doing possibly from, to cut and hope maybe from mid of this week, you guys will be doing labs by yourselves and you will be in smaller groups. You know, Kenai 53 na Kenai 54. So Kenai 53 will have smaller groups within them. And you tutawapea like 4 or 5 people in a group so that you guys can now be even meeting. Izo meetings za usiku, you meet and then you go through a lab pamoja, mnafunzana pamoja. Ikifika time ya exam, you revise together. Sometimes we call for a channel-wide discussion. We discuss together as a channel or sometimes even do it as a whole class. Unaona hiyo? So that's a very good idea and it is time, limekuja time poa sana. So umenipatia idea chenye ndaambia groups wako wanafanya. And of course, we will always be there to guide you guys. We'll always be there to guide you guys. So msiwe na wasiwasi. So let's go to our instance. So let us wait for it to initialize. Then we will try it out. We'll try it out. But in the meantime, we can just start configuring our stuff because this will not change anyway, even after it has initialized. So let's go to PuTTY. So here is PuTTY. Okay. So let me change this one again. And then I go back to this one. And then I go back to authorization. Auth browse. Then let's get that open. Then before we click it, just a second, Rudisha. Let me do this here. Refresh to see. Good. So all checks have passed. So our instance is good. So let's hope this one now works because that's a new instance. Accept EC2-user. Authenticating. We are authenticated. You see now we are in. Now we are in. So that is that. So what do I want to demonstrate? Where are my notes? What did I want to demonstrate? So we have this who am I command. You know, we have this who am I command. So let's see if we type who am I. You see our username. Are you able to see my screen? If you can see my screen, thumbs up, tafadhali. Felix, no, Felix, we are not changing anything. We are not changing anything in terms of the lab VPC. Remember, I was just spinning this because I've not started doing a lab. I wanted a shell where I can show you this commands running. So who am I? Who am I helps you to know the user. You can't see clearly. So is there an option ya kunini kweli? Is there an option ya make bigger? Sioni. I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing anything. Oh, and even the touch cannot work on it. So, what can I do to help you, Lawoni? What can I do to help you? Let me see. Okay, let me snip it for you. Maybe this will help you. Taangalia kwa chat. You make a snip of what we have. So that's what I'll be doing. I'll just be sending snips up. So that is it. So our username, you have seen, because we logged in as EC2 user. So that's what we see as EC2 user. Okay. So the concatenation of the strings, who am I is who am I as one word. In Linux, it is used to show the current user's username when the command is invoked. You know, sometimes you might be working on this system in an organization where there are multiple users who are accessing it at any given time. And maybe you now want to get into it and you want to check something under your own username. So before you run any commands or before you start doing anything in it, you can check who am I, so that it tells you who is currently logged into that session. So it helps you to do that. A use case for this command will be to use it after you log in as a user A. So you've logged in as user A, and maybe the permissions that were granted to user B are the ones that you want to use. So if it shows you that you are user A, then you will know that that user does not have permission to do what the other user is supposed to do. Then you'll be able to switch users, run commands as another users to see different contexts. So you are able to do that. You see, so the same way we have talked right on the top bar and click. Kwa nini? Kwa this one ikiran. Top bar and do what? And click on change settings. Let us learn that one. Change settings. Very nice. There's a font change option. Font. Let's see, where is font? Appearances. Appearances. Okay. Appearances. Then there is font. I'm seeing we are currently using 10 point. So let's see if we can change it to double that. Double that will do. Let's try. Apply. Good. Thank you, Tony. That was a good hack. I did not know that. I hope this is visible, Emmy. Emmy, is this visible?
Yes, it is.
Good. You have Tony to thank. Tony, asante sana. Thank you for that. That was a good hack. That was a very good hack. So we have said who am I shows you the current user. And then let us see if there is another command that we can try out. This one. So that is who am I. Then we have the ID command. So the ID command is used to print real and effective user and group IDs. Okay, so the ID command is used to print real and effective users and group IDs. You can't use the mouse wheel or one specific size, open, putty, appearance, change. Okay, thank you for that. Mtu pia anaweza copy hii. Musembi, whatever you have shared there, please also make a screenshot or a copy of it to our WhatsApp group so that now we will be referring to it. Thank you for that. So the next command that you're going to try out is the ID command. And we're told that this command helps identify the user and group name and numeric IDs or UID or group ID of the current user or any other user on the server. This command displays the user and group information for each specified user, or when user is omitted for the current user. Okay, those users are many. User after every user. Okay, so let us try and run the ID command and see what we get. So ID, just that, enter. You see what we get? We get the UID the UID of the EC2 user. We get the group ID of the EC2 user. We get the groups. So the EC2 user belongs to a group called 1,000. And then there are 4 ADM. Is this admin or what? Okay, I really don't know what those ones mean, but give me a second. I'll just figure it out right now. Oh, so imekata hiyo. Give me a sec. Let me get an explanation. Explain these. All right. So let's see. The output. So the ID, this command displays identity information for the current user, including the user ID. The way we've said user ID is the UID that you see. And then the group ID or GID, the groups that the user belongs to, and the security context, especially on systems with Cell Linux, like Amazon Linux or Red Hat Enterprise Linux, RHEL. So the output explained, so UID to MSMA is the user ID, 1,000 is the numerical ID for this user, EC2 user is the username, Then GID is the group ID, and then list all groups that the user belongs to. That is under the groups. So this user, the user EC2 user, belongs to groups that include the 1,000, which is the primary group. For ADM, gives permission to read system logs. So this user has permissions to read what? To read the systems log. 10 wheel allows the use of sudo. Sudo is super user do, and I think we will be doing sudo maybe tomorrow. I'm not very sure. Then we have 190 system D journal, which allows access to journal logs from the system D. So that is an inbuilt system within Linux. And then context defined, those ones are not important, but basically that is that. That is just that. So for the ID Mona, hapa just shika that it shows you the user, it shows you their user ID, it shows you the group ID, it shows you the groups that they belong to and the permissions that they have in terms of belonging to this group. They are permitted to do A, B, C, D within the system. I hope that one makes some good sense. I hope that one makes some good sense. So we have talked about that. Then we have the host name command. So the host name command is used to either set or display the current host, domain, or node name of the system. So when you type host name as a command, it is used to either set or display the current host, domain, or node name of the system. Let's see, kama kuna more details about information. This command displays the TCP IP host name. The host name is used to either set or display the system's current host, domain, or node name. Many networking programs use host name to identify the system. Many of them use the host name to identify the system. Let us run it and see what we get printed out from our system. I hope you've not hung. Why? I don't want us to start again. Oh, good. Host name. You see, so this is our host name, and actually our host name is given as an IP. What did we say here? We have been told that the host name, yes, the host name is used to either set or display the system's current host, domain, or name. Or node name. So what we have here looks like a domain to me. This one looks like a domain. And then now the next one that we will look at is called uptime. Let me run it first before we read what it does. So that is what we have as our output. Let's read Kwanzaa. Let's read. So the uptime command indicates how long the system has been up since the last boot. So how long has the system been up since the last boot? So for us in Atwampia, we've been up for 13 minutes, 12, 13, 39, 13 minutes. There is one user, that is me. The load average you are given there. Then now this command in itself is also important if you look at it from a systems administrator point of view. You are trying to look at the general system. Maybe you have a system that is able to, it is within a network and you are able to check the entirety of a system. But nowadays, apart from using terminal, there are dashboards that you can use to achieve the same thing. You are trying to determine how many users are in the system at that time and how long have they been there. You see, how many users are in the system and how long have they been there? And you know, some of those things are useful even for the purposes of auditing and tracking and trailing, just to know who has been accessing which part of the system and for how long were they there. And also just to understand if this person has been here, maybe there is this system. For example, right now that I've run that and then suddenly I come to read here and I see it is telling me that I've been around for longer than this, or I've been around for 1 hour, and yet I know very well that this lab, I just started it right now. I'll know that there was a problem. Or I see there, I found that, oh, there are like 3 other users in this system, and yet I know very, very well that I am the only person that's supposed to be in the system. Then that one will be a cause of concern. So for system admins and people who are also into security, this is a very important command. This is a very important command. So this command indicates how long the system has been up since the last boot, and it also shows you the users that are present. Then we have the date command. Don't confuse the uptime command with the date command. The date command provides the current date and time. Today, leo ni lini, what is the date today? So Linux iko pia na hiyo feature date. So see, it shows us that it is Tuesday, October 14th, and this is the time in UTC. This is the time in UTC. So if you want to get our time, it's already 3. So our time here, you add plus 12, 13, 14, 15, plus 3 hours, plus 3. So our time is UTC plus 3. UTC plus 3. So if you add plus 3 here, it will tell you that it is now 15/16/03. 14th of October. The date is kawaida. So it is iko sawa. You don't need to add anything to it. So the date, we've said that the date command shows you as a command, it provides the current date and time. That is very, very important. So can display the current date in a given form. It can also set the system date. Then the cal command, CAL command. The cal command is used to display a simple calendar. If no arguments are specified, the current month is displayed. Let us try this one. I've never tried the cal command. Let us try it together. The cal command. So this is supposed to display the calendar. Let's see. There you go. Are you seeing the calendar? And it is also showing us the date today is 14th. So this is the cal command. This is nice. The cal command. So the cal command shows us the calendar. It shows us the calendar. So kama wewe ni nerd, if you're an IT nerd, you can do a lot of things using the terminal. You can go there and check the date, check the time, check the calendar, and then shine. Ngaria watu. So the cal command is used to display a calendar. If no arguments are specified, you said it will show the current month. Then the month can be displayed as a number 1 to 12, a month name, or an abbreviated month name according to the current locales. So those are options that you can use with the cal command. Remember, this is a command. There is always an option that you can use with it, and then there is argument that can follow. But here we're just talking about just the basic command. Then there's the clear command. This is the most important command of them all, according to me, because after you've worked on your terminal and then your working page, your current page is full, and you want to clear it so that you get some more working space. Ndo kazi yako pia ikuwe safi as you continue to work. You use what we call the clear command. So the clear command is a system command used to clear the terminal screen. Let us see it in action. It will not echo anything. It will not echo anything. So let us come here and do clear. You see what happened? Imesafisha kila kitu. You see, imesafisha kila kitu. So that is what the clear command does. That's what the clear command does. So the clear command is used to clear the terminal screen. This command, when ran, clears all text on the terminal screen and displays a new prompt. So a new prompt ni ako ka blinking with your, you see, okay, this one is not blinking, but this is what we call a prompt. So you can now start again doing whatever you want to do here. Like for example, if I do Carl, that's our calendar. If I do date, there you go. If I do clear, there you see, we have cleared everything. So that is that. Then there's the echo command. So echo command outputs the string. So if you write echo and then, how do you call this ones? Single quotation marks and then the message in between. It will do what? It will display it. Let us try that one. That one is nice. That one is nice. So to echo. So we are saying echo. Let's start with the example. Echo hi. Oh, sorry, single. Let's see. There you go. We have hi. Let us echo another one. Echo. Someone write for me a message hapo kwa chat. What you want us to echo? You see, whatever you tell it to echo, it is echoing. Hey, Habakkuk. Hello world, eh? Echo. Haya, sawa. Atuchagui. We will echo. Hello world. Huh? You see, we are echoing hello world. Let us echo Mark. Let us echo good morning. Echo good morning. See, it has echoed. Yeah, let us try one more. Ladies, why are you not participating in class? Ata kwa chat. I'm not seeing, I'm just seeing Kina Musembi. Ladies, what's up? AWS students. I want one example from a lady. Actually, two examples from ladies. AWS students. So what echo does, it just si unajua ni kama, okay, think about the normal echo. If you're in a room that has nothing inside it, it's just an empty room, and then you say, for example, done, you'll hear done. You'll hear like the what you have said being repeated over and over, or being repeated at least one time. That's an echo. No. So ni kama Python, only difference is print. So for free, yes. If you're using the Python, if you're using the Python, what? If you're using the Python in a Python terminal, I think NetWave or something like that, then it will be possible for you to print out to do what? It will be able for you to print out whatever you have written there. For example, if you say print hello world, it will output hello world. That's how I would say it. Isn't echo PHP? I'm not sure what PHP. I'm not conversant with PHP myself. My stack is away from PHP, but I know echo is used a lot. Echo is used a lot in terminals. Echo is used a lot in terminals, especially this terminal. Kuna ni fulani yenye tulikuwa tunatumia. There is a tool, an editing tool that we were using, not VI. There's another one that Emacs. I think it was Emacs. Emacs. I think there was a lot of echo. I never liked that one, to be honest. Mimi ni mtu wa VI ama Vim. Yeah. Naboth is saying, yeah, it is used to output in PHP. Awesome. So that is confirmed. So let us try your example ya nani. Ladies, I'm still waiting for one more example from you. Sisongi mpaka mnipatie example ingine moja. Emi amewasaidia na moja, so leteni ingine moja. And she's reminding us to complete our cases. So echo complete cases. One more example. Or you want me to name names? Priscilla? Any lady can help Priscilla. Kama Priscilla hayuko tayari. Fun. Thank you. Afternoon session. So we echo. Let's echo afternoon session. Afternoon session. Yeah, there you go. So we have echoed afternoon session. Thank you so much for that participation. That was awesome. So that was the echo command. That was the echo command. And just seeing how many examples we've used, it shows you it is one of those ones that I like. I like that command. It comes second after clear, of which you can just do clear here. And you see what has happened. Nice, nice, nice. Clear ni kama ile kifuta ubao. Kifuta ubao that we used to use, duster. Ilikuwa inaitwanga blackboard duster or something that we used to use back in the day. So I am looking for my notes again. Yeah, it's this one. I believe so. Okay, so that's the echo command. Then the history command. So for the history command, what we are being told here is that bash keeps a history of users' commands in a file in that user's home directory. The history command views the history file. History is stored. It has its own directory where it is stored. And I believe we met this destination pale mwanzo vile tulikuwa tumeanza /home/username/.bash_history. You see, /home/username/.bash _history. So, seeing this example that has been given here, so what you see here, these are like, I believe these are like the commands that have been keyed into the shell, and they were being stored here. So let us try and run history on our end and see if we are going to get anything that shows what we've been doing. History. So enter. See, there you go. You see the history. So, yes, Salem. Yes, you are right. When you see a dot, a period, when you see a period in a naming, especially when you're talking about what you're talking about right now, that is actually a hidden file. It's not a file that you would easily access. So see, these are the commands that we have entered in our terminal, right from who am I all the way to history. You see, even the one that you've just entered right now, it has already been written into the file. So that is why we are able to see it. You know, thank you. Let me rush there and restart my lab. I don't want to be kicked out. Start lab. Try. Thank you for that, Naboth. Status is ready. Good, awesome. So we go back. Even before we go back, where is that? So you have seen history. So we are saying bash keeps a history of each user's command in a file in that user's home directory. The history command views the history file. You know, it displays the current user's history file. Up and down arrows, up and down arrow keys cycle through the output of the Up and down arrow keys cycle through the output of the history file. This command can be run by using an event number. For example, you use vlomeandika hapo alama ya mshangao !143. Note, if you make a mistake when writing a command, don't re-enter it. If you make a mistake when writing a command, don't re-enter it. Use the history command to recall the command back to the prompt and then edit the command to correct the mistake. Well, that is interesting. Let me try two things. Well, again, confession time. I've never used this one before. Let's try. I think this is supposed. Oh, so the number is 5, so we have the date. You see, number is 5, we have date. Let me try again, exclamation, like number 3. Number 3 is host name. So that is the history. So you are looking at the history relative to the numbers that you have. So you are able to see that. So that was good. That was good. That was good. Now, you should use the history command in the following use cases. So these are some of the use cases that are recommended. 1, accessing history between sessions and removing sensitive information from the history. For example, a password that is entered into a command argument. If you enter a password into a command argument, that password you can easily access it. Like for example, let's see. For example, yes. So, for example, if you had entered a password alongside this command, you entered it. Then when you run it, you will be able to read it in plain text, which is not a good thing, especially considering that someone can easily hack you, and then they'll be able to access that password. And maybe that password is used to secure or rather protect some sensitive part of your digital infrastructure, even as an organization. So it's very, very important not to have it there. So if you get wind of, or if you become aware that maybe you might have made that blunder and you might have actually exposed your password in one of your commands, you can actually recall that command, edit that password out, remove that password, and then you will be safe. That is very, 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 very important. That is very important. The touch command. Touch command is also very, very good. I've used this one severally, especially when you're trying to create a file. So touch command is used to update the access and modification times of each file to the current time. This is interesting. Let's see. The touch command is used to update the access and modification times of each file to the current time. For example, touch command can be used to create, change, or modify timestamps on existing files. That is true. Also, the touch command is used to create new empty file. This is what I've used it for. That's why I sounded a bit surprised when I read what it can do. It can do more things, but I've used it to do this, to create a new empty file in a directory, to create a new file by using touch command, enter touch, and then the file name. Now, you can use the touch command to generate more than one new file at a time by writing the syntax touch file this, and file this. You see, these are 3 files, and we'll do that example. You see the ls command in the screenshot. You see the ls command in the screenshot. You learn more about ls command in the next lesson. No problem. We'll learn about the ls command, but before even we go to cut, let us practice what we have just been told about the touch command. So we've been told that touch, so you can call this one as file A, or file A.txt. Maybe that's a text file, and then you want to create another one, file _b.txt, and maybe one more, file _c.txt. So we have like those 3 files. Let's touch. So you see, anytime you are running a command like that and then you don't see any error, or you just see the next prompt line, that means that was successful. What you've just done there was successful. So I know we've been told that we will use ls soon, but let me just do ls so that we see if those files have been created. And here they are. You can see we have file A, file _a.txt, file _b.txt, and file _c.txt. So these ones have been created. You see, these ones have been created. So that is how you do, that is what you do with touch. Now, I'm not very sure if this thing has nini ya kufungua V. Let's see. Yeah, imefungua. Imefungulia file. So I've used VI. VI is a text editor. VI is a text editor. There are others like Emacs and okay. I'm still not very sure the difference between VI and Vim, but I use VI a lot. So it has opened that, and now you can actually write into this text and say this is my first. This is my first, or this is my first file, something like that. Escape WQ. There you go. You see, so we have something written into that file. We have something written into that file. We have something written into this file. So if we want to read it, we can always do. Cut. Let me try. Apart najaribu kwanza, because this is like the next command that you are doing. Let me try and see. Yes, use the cut command to read a file. So this is my first file. That file, whatever we've written into that file, we can read it using the cut command. We can read it using the cut command. Now, I'm not sure what echo will do. What will echo do? What wanajua echo? Echo itafanya nini? Ama itanipea error. Oh, so echo inakwambia tu jina file. It does not open the file to read what is in the file. No, it does not open the file to read what is in the file. If you want to read what is inside the file, you use the cut command. And I think that is like the next thing that we are going to discuss in our notes, because I saw it. So, cut command.
Before you proceed, I have a question. So when you are using like echo, so it's not a must to use quotes. Ama ukifanya kuweka tu hivyo without quotes, it's still okay.
Good question. Someone tell us, because niliona kwa example alikuwa amesema we use that, but also before when someone tells us, let us just try and echo. What had we echoed the other time? The shortest word was? What was the shortest time? Or we just do, history. Let's see. What was the shortest word? The shortest word was high. So let us try and echo high without the quotation mark and see. So clear. Then we say echo high. And that. Yeah, it has still echoed it. So what is the difference? Does someone have an idea? We have echoed without, and we still get the same response. The same response. Okay. The way I would explain it, maybe I would explain it from a software development perspective, where is it inakuwa double quote ama single quote, or am I confusing myself? Sometimes we use that in order to, when we start talking about strings, when you want the shell to understand that this is like, this one falls under this data type. Acha niachie hapo. Nisianze kuongea kuhusu mambo ya, because it's also confusing me. But let us see. Let me take a minute and just check that one. I think that is good.
I think you're saying the same thing, because I'm not sure if I'm remembering my PHP properly, but yeah, it's down to data types, because right now, the way that we used the commas, if we were to place it under an API, it would send back the whole thing. But right now, if you were to use this, I think it were to send it as a single. No, it was to send it as an array or something. I know it's something like that. It's down to data types.
Yes, I believe so too. And maybe the use of that single quote is to make sure that this is actually outputted as is, without other operations going into it. Like yes, ilikuwa nani, the first one had the single quotes, the other one does not have the quotes, but we're using this. So what I am seeing here, both commands work, but there is a subtle difference in how the shell interprets them. Echo high and echo single quote high both print the text to the terminal, but the quotes matter depending on what's inside the text. You understand? So no quotes, the shell treats each word as a separate argument. So if you were to write high part, each one of them will be treated as separate things, and then works fine. So apart number, this works fine because there is no space or special character that needs protection. Yeah, actually, I think that is what I was taught. Tukiambiwa the importance of using that single quotation, especially in programming when you are writing a program. So that special protection is afforded to that. I think ukizieka nani ametuambia kuhusu PHP saizi? I did not catch your name. Who was that?
It's Naboth.
Naboth, yes, Naboth. So I believe that it's something like to do with strings. If you have a string, it's supposed to be printed as is without, maybe you just want to output it the way it is without the terminal having to look at it and then say, maybe because there is a space here or because there's this special character inside here, maybe I need to do a certain manipulation to it so that I output something different. I don't know if that one makes sense. Something like that, Cindy. So here we are being told that single quotes tell the shell to treat everything inside as literal text. Don't interpret special characters. If there is an ampersand, if there is a star, if there is an exclamation or spaces, just interpret it as is. So best practice, let us use what? Let us use those single quotes. That was a very good question. Thank you for asking. At least umefanya tumerevise kidogo things that we did back in the day. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. Let's continue. So we have said the cat command is used to show the content of files. Yes. So the cat command is used to show the content of files. This command is useful to administrators because Linux configuration are held inside text files. In the example that is shown, you can use this command to view the context of hosts.allow file. So there is a file called hosts.allow. So this hosts.allow maybe has usernames of those who are allowed maybe to access that part of the system. So you can see here we are doing cat hosts.allow. Then hosts.allow, this file contains access rules which are used to allow or deny connections to network services that either use the TCP wrappers library or that have been started through TCP wrappers-enabled XINETD . Something like that. Don't worry about that. Linux ikona lugha yake. So far, out of all those commands, which one would you say is your favorite? Twende kwa chat. Engage me as I catch a breath. Engage me as I catch a breath. Habakkuk, kwa mimi clear. Clear is your favorite. Clear is your favorite. Kwani Habakkuk peke yake ndo kana favorite. History, I like it, Mark. And ladies, I'm waiting for you. Ladies, na ngoja pale. Echo, history, clear, followed closely by echo. We have Carl, Omumia, Touch, Frank. Ladies. I'm waiting for ladies. Where? Sijui if we are supposed to have a meeting with the ladies. Tuambie mbona, kwa nini? Echo, Ivy, umeokolea, Gail, asanti. Double exclamation. Hiyo ni gani? History, echo, fun, wonderful. Nice. Abi, who am I? Kumbe nyinyi mnataka tu mwite ndo mwapia. But that was very nice. Thank you for that participation. So let us look at these additional commands. Standard streams are interconnected input and output communication channels. Standard streams are interconnected input and output channels. Give me a second. Just a second. Okay. So there are what? Standard streams are interconnected input and output communication channels. There are 3 input or outputs or I/O streams. The standard streams are number 0 standard. #0 standard in command, #1 standard out in std out command, and #2 standard error or std_err command. These communication channels handle incoming data or outgoing data from an input device or write data from applications. So we are told these communication channels, handle incoming data or outgoing data from an input device or write data from applications. In modern operating systems, the standard error stream is redirected to log files. What does that mean? It means that whatever is found as error is written to log files. Is written to log files. So that is pretty direct. Standard input or std_in command. Standard input or std_in. Standard input is the device through which input is normally received. For example, a keyboard or a scanner. So if I type something on my keyboard or I use a scanner, whatever is taken into the machine, it will be taken in through what? Through what we call standard in or std_in. So standard input is given 0. 0 is the value that is used for standard input. It redirects the content of, redirects the content of my first script to the standard. You see, redirects the content of my first script to the standard. So you have something like cat 0, and then right, left. This is left. So left is normally less than. So 0 less than my first script. You see, 0 less than my first script. It doesn't mean that it's less than. It is just that they've used that less than symbol. This tells cat to take input information from my first script. So input information is taken from my first script. That is what this means here. Cat 0, my first script. We'll just see an example. Standard input is the file handle that your process reads to get information from you. So standard input is the file handle that your process reads to get information from you. It can be from the user who provides the information or from a file. Standard input to Mesema is given the value 0. The standard cat is this, tells cat to take input from that. That one you said 0 is the value that is used for standard input. That one is repeated, and then that line is equally repeated. Don't worry, we'll see if there's an example down there. Like if I run this, I don't think that I'm going to get anything. Do I have this? I don't have this file. So I won't run that example. Then we have standard out command. So standard output command is the device through which output is normally delivered. For example, the display mirror or a mobile device screen. Those are what you see. It actually gives you the product of what has been processed inside the computer. So you are able to see it through those monitors, either your monitor or the device or your mobile device screen. So standard output is normally given value 1. 1 is the value that is used for standard output. So in this example here, you see when you do ls-l 1, and then now we are using greater than folder.txt. Greater than, because that arrow now looks the opposite direction. It looks towards the right. So ls-l lists the content of the current folder instead of displaying it on the console. It lists the content. It lists the content of the current folder. So we don't have a folder, but we will get a folder in a minute. So it lists them as a list. Then the output of ls is directed to folder.txt. So the output that is being listed, instead of being displayed, it is instead directed to a file called folder.txt. So it shows what the folder has. I want us to do that example. But let us read the notes first. So standard output consists of the standardized streams of data that flow out of command line interface. Standard output consists of standardized streams of data that flow out of the command line interface commands. It simplifies the use of Linux on different devices and in different programs. It reduces the need to adjust output depending on device that is used. So 1 is the value that is used. And then we've looked at that command. And then we've also said what ls-l will do. So if I come here, before we go to standard error, if I come here and just do ls, I believe in a corner space, that's what you get. We are getting our files. You see, these are the files that we get. You know, these are the files. This is what we have in this place where we are in our current directory. These are the files we have. We have file A, we have file this, we have file this. So here, I want us to do make directory. We are going to create a directory, and then we are going to call it my files. Let us just call it my directory. We are trying to make a directory called my files. Enter. Then when we go and do ls, you will see we have this. You see, it's even a different color. My files. This is our directory that we have made. Then, if we want to get into this directory, for example, we want to get into this directory, we can say cd my files. Another shortcut that you can use once you've done cd, and then sometimes your folder names might be longer. You just need to type like the first 2 letters or 1 letter, and then chapter tab, click on tab, it will auto-complete the name for you. So I've done cdm, then tab, then it has auto-completed it for me. Now you can see we are now in this path, my files. Then if we do ls, you'll see it is empty. There is nothing in there. There's nothing in there. Then I'm going to touch and create a file inside there. So I will do touch file d, file underscore d, because we have abcd.txt, for example. So we have created that file. Now, when we do ls again, you will see we now have one file in there called file underscore d.txt. That is the file that we have inside my files. Now, because I have just created that directory, and now I want to move all these other files into my files, what I will do, I'll use another command. This command, you're going to meet it, but let me just do, first of all, I'll cd and go back. I want to get outside this directory first. So I've gone back to where I was. I've gone like a step behind. Then I will do this, mv. mv is a move command. Move command, I believe, mv is move. Programmers, msiniache nichome na mnyamaza hapo. txt, this is a place to help your teacher. Underscore b. Nataka tu kuzimuvisha tu zote tu mara moja. Let me move those 2 first. Those ones, and then I will specify where I want to move them. My files. You see? Let me see. Let's see first of all if that will work. ls. Yeah, you see now we only have one file where we are at. We only have one file left, C, which I did not move. And then now if we cd to my files, enter, then ls, you see the files that we had moved have all been moved there. You see, the files that we had moved had all been moved there. Now, I want to do something different, cd dot. Again, I've gotten out of that. I want to do cp. I want to use cp, and then we see what will happen. cp, and then I will use, before cp, sorry, ls. When we ls, you see we still have file C. So I want to do cp, and then I will do file underscore c dot, let me show you what I was saying, cpf tab. It has just picked that because that is the only file that has starts with the letter F. So cpf tab, there you go. And then I want it to go to my files. Let's see what will happen. Okay, let us do ls first. We still have our file C here. You can see we still have our file there. But now if we cd to my files and then do ls, you can see we have a copy of the same file inside our my file. So what cp does, cp copies. It copies a file into the destination that you have specified without getting rid of it in its source. So the source bado imebaki, we still have file C kwa source, and then we have a copy of that same file inside my files. So those are some of the other commands that you can use, but there are more that we'll talk about in a minute. Hey, time inakimbia aje leo. We'll talk about those ones. Acha kama tumalizane na standard error. So kwa standard error is where a process can write error messages. So standard error is normally given number 2. 2 is the value that is used for standard error. So you can see here, find name this X asterisk inside double quotation is normally in simple English, it talks about all. So find all names and print to that file. Sorry. So it's like there is a file in that destination where you're supposed to output the error to. You can discard any errors. Note, you can discard any errors that the find command generates to keep your CLI tidy. Yeah, because if you just leave it like that, inaweza kuletea shida mingi, clogging with errors, because errors sometimes can be scary. Standard error, or STDERR, is used to print the error message on the output screen or window terminal. 2 is the value, that one we've talked about, and then about discarding, we've also talked about that one. Bash tab completion, this one I've just shown you practically how to do it. That the press tab twice where you left off to select the specific file you want, Pressing the tab key twice will show all matching options. So cut file. Let us try that one. Yeah. Cut file. Actually, it's just the same thing. It's the same thing that I showed you. Hapo ina story mingi. Bash practice history and tab completion. For history and tab completion, best practice include the following: develop the habit of using both these features to make usage of command line faster. Use the features of Bash to work smarter, not harder. And then we have checkpoint questions. But before we go there, let's go back here. There are other commands that I want to give you for your own usage. You see, the same way we created, we can also delete. So if you want to remove a file, you can actually remove a file. So inside my files, let's first of all clear this. So inside my file, when we ls, you see we have all those files. If we want to remove a file, we can say remove rm and then file underscore a txt.a.txt. So we want to remove that file. Let's see if this one will work. There you go. Let us ls. When we ls, you can see we don't have file called file a because we have removed it. Okay, cd.ls. We have that directory, and this directory is not empty. Let me create another directory. Make directory my files 2. So ls, we have those 2 directories. I want someone to engage me and tell me which command are we going to use first to delete the empty directory, the directory that does not have any files in it. Which command are we going to use?
Kidogo tu sita.
Tunangoja. Remove -r for a directory that has nothing. Okay, let's try that. Remove -r. That is for a directory that has nothing, and one that has nothing was my files 2. Enter. We have no error. So let us ls and see. So my files 2 has been kicked out. Thank you so much, Naboth, for that. That one has worked. Now I want us to, before we try any other command for the directory that has files in it, let us try the same command that Naboth has given us now for a directory that has files in it and see what we will get. So that one, so we just change this one to my files. Yes, my files, and then enter. Oh, don't tell me that it has worked, ls. It has worked. No, we are supposed to get an error. Ama umenipatia command yenye, let me just see. There are normally 2 commands. Command to delete directory, an empty directory, delete an empty directory. Let's see. Let's return our directory, make directory. let us just try and do my files. Let's make that one, let's make this one empty. ls, we have it Timerudi, and then we can do make directory my files too. So we have created another directory. When you ls, you see it there. Then cd, no. Then we say cp file underscore c dot txt. We want to copy that one to my files too. cp file underscore c dot txt, my files too. So that is what we want to try, and enter. Okay, ls. There you go. So my files too ndio ikona folder ndani yake. Ndio ikona file ndani yake. My files haina anything. So let us try remove directory, rmdir. That is what I'm getting here. So let us try and remove the my files just as is. Vile iko hivyo, enter. ls, my files is gone. So that one has worked. Let us try the same remove directory, but now with my files too, which has a file inside it. It's not an empty directory. Enter. And this is what I was waiting for. I was waiting to get an error like this. Failed to remove my files directory not empty. You see, failed to remove because the directory is not empty. Now to remove it, you will now use the command that that Naboth gave us. So let us do rm -r. -r, I believe -r is for recursively. And then we do, m tab, that one, enter, and that is now gone. ls, boom, it's gone. You know, we are only left with our file C. So that was also an important thing for you guys to see. So those are just some of the commands. Yes, so remove directory removes empty directories. So rm-r is used to remove directories that have files inside them. And what is the difference between remove-r and remove-rf? What is the difference? And when is each used? -f is for force. So -f is for force, and you use force, which is not, it is not recommended, but sometimes you might have to use it just to make sure that it actually does what it's supposed to do. So basically, rm-r is supposed to get the job done. I hope you guys have learned something. So I've added a few commands for you. Yes.
Yes, I mean, I have a question. Since I'm remembering this command from the git bash, is there a command for like for you see the way that we've deleted the directory? Is there like a command to like re-roll back a command that you did?
Interestingly, I was just thinking about it right now. I was just thinking of that. Let's see.
Patrick, I might want to add on that. Because there's a time I was using ChatGPT for guidance and it really messed me up with PowerShell back in when I was using PowerShell. Some things cannot be undone.
It cannot be undone?
Most of them.
Okay, let us see. Is there a command that can be used to roll back? To roll back what? Everybody repeat what you asked. To roll back?
To roll back whichever, like you see the way that right now you're not understanding the command that I placed in the chat, and everything just was deleted. So imagine if this directory had your whole application and it's gone.
I get you.
Is there like a rollback or something? The way like GitHub.
The way we have for GitHub, is it Git revert or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. On terminal, let me see. Musembi, I'm using your friend, the same friend that messed you back in the day. I hope that was Musembi.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm using your friend. I call this friend of ours Kuzo. In fact, ukiona vile wana chat na naanzanga na hi kuzo, good morning, alafu naambia shida zangu, then it addresses me very well. And now what we are getting here is that no, there is no universal undo or rollback command in Linux terminal. Once you run a command, the shell executes it immediately, and unless that command has its own built-in way to revert what it did, you generally can't roll it back automatically. But here is what you can do depending on the situation. Use command history. So command history will show you all the recently run command. At least you've learned about history today. And then they're saying if it is a matter of code, don't store your code locally. Put it in a how do you call it? Put it in a version control system. Put it in a version control system such as Git. And that one will make it possible for you to run things like git revert. So if for example, you're working on a code and then you've committed it, and then you discover that that has a problem before it hits production or before it moves to the next phase, and you want to call it back and maybe correct it and then get the right version committed properly, you do git revert, and then you just need a commit ID. You need a commit ID, but we'll talk about Git later. Tutaongea kuhusu Git hapo mbele kidogo. There is a very good class on Git that will cover something like that. But that was a good question. Yes.
So hapo ndo pale penye watu husemanga the good practices are supposed to be done. Like you see the way like we've removed, you're not supposed to use that rm.r, you're supposed to use the rm directory.
Remove directory. Yes, right. Remove directory because problem is najua kanini msevu nacheka, maybe it has happened for you.
Now both is brilliant, huh?
Yes.
Yeah,
because sometimes unajua tunapenda kufanya this batch jobs, jobs where maybe if you want to delete things together, the way you saw I moved files together, like file 1, file 2, file 3, packaged, rusha kwa hiyo folder. So when it comes to deleting, you want to delete these directories together, but in your mind, you know very well what you're supposed to do. There is one specific directory that has your files that you don't want to touch. But when you've written all of them and placed them all of them kwa the execution line. So unajua hapo ukiclick to rm space -rf, ukiweka tu hiyo alafu umeziandika zote, kila kitu itaenda teke mbio haraka upesi. Yes.
Patrick, what you mean is to avoid simple line commands, huh?
Yes,
combine kila kitu like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 in the same command. Just go step by step.
No. Me? Me? I'm not saying that. Me, I cannot say that. Not the way I work, and not the way DevOps engineers I know who are into automation too. Because you see, in the process of time, especially when you guys start using instances, you'll discover that instead of even writing these commands, you can even write a script, a full script that has many commands in it that does different things. Unaona, for example, what we did when Jay was walking us through the first installation of the HTTP.
HTTP.
That server, the Apache server. We had combined a couple of commands just to achieve that. Sometimes you'll land a client or you'll be working in an organization where you're supposed to do so many systems, so you are supposed to do so many things, let's say installations and stuff like that. And for some of you here who are into, let's say, things like DevOps, you'll come across things that we call automation tools like Terraform, automation tools like Ansible, and these ones thrive in the fact that you combine a number of scripts together. You have many scripts, and then you just initiate a command, you just call your script, and then that script runs everything that is inside. You call a file, actually. You make the file executable, and then you now call it on your terminal. When you call it on your terminal, it is executed. When it's executed, it now runs all those things back. So here, what I'm trying to encourage us to do is, if there is a command that, okay, simply put, don't use a power saw to cut a twig. Use a panga. don't use a power saw to cut a twig, because power saw is powerful and it can cut a whole tree. You understand? A power saw can cut a whole tree, but a kapanga, it can just cut that twig and get rid of it. So that twig are the files, are the empty directories that you want to cut. The full tree is the directory that has files inside them. No, you don't want to cut the tree. So use the panga, because now when you try using that panga to cut a tree, you'll cut alafu tanza kusikia mkono inafanya, you know, that vibration. Kukwambia, this is not an appropriate tool for this. Same thing that you see when you try to do RM. When you try to do RMDIR, remove directory. When you try to do remove directory on a folder that has files in it, it gives you an error, and that one will cause you even to go back and check, but I have an error. What does this mean? Oh, wow, hey, kumbe I almost deleted that sensitive file. You know, that sensitive file. So it is very, very important to pay attention to that. What does RM-RF/ do? What does that do? Hebu tuambie hapo kwa chat or unmute kama kuna mwenye anajua inafanya nini.
Umepewa jibu hapo na Salem.
Oh, it deletes the whole system. Because X unaona ka asterisk. Sometimes unajua kuna pia kitu, sometimes people think that everything is just supposed to be automated, or you're supposed to use shortcuts. Some shortcuts can be very, very costly. They can be very costly. Imagine deleting a whole system now, pattern it's a production system. But that was good. I think that session was really, really good. I hope you guys have learned something. So wacha tumalize na hizi checkpoint questions. So yes, checkpoint question number 1. What are the main 3 components of bash shell command syntax? This one we have covered. Someone tell me, what are they? Come on, kulala class. Someone answer that for us. What are the 3 main components of the bash shell command syntax?
Ladies first.
Ladies memulikwa. Someone tell us. Mtu atuambie moja. Najua mtu akisema moja watu watashikanisha hizo zingine. There are 3. What are they? Argument is one of them. Thank you, Nabot. Another one? Command is another one. Ladies, mtu ajibu mbio kabla gentleman kunyakua. Let's see. Abi. Abi amekuja kazi yake zote. Yes, option. So, argument, option, and command. That is awesome. That is awesome. How do you run a command from your bash history? How do you run a command from your bash history? How do you run a command from your bash history? We saw that. The first step is to run the history command. After you've run the history command, it will give you all the commands that you've run before, and they are in numbers. And then now, if you want to run a specific command, you will take, you'll put in a alama ya mshangao, exclamation mark with the number of that command, and that way you'll be able to run it. What happens if you attempt tab completion on a command when you don't enter enough characters to make the command string unique? What happens? What happens? Someone unmute na atuambie hiyo si ya kutype. What happens when you jaribu? What happens? The answer is very, very simple. 0 happens, nothing happens. Okay, or what happens there, utasikia weird sounds, like if you're using a system such as mine, utasikia ding, 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 telling you that there is an error. Because vile tu umeona, when you have multiple files, all of them are named as file_A, or file, one is file_A, another one file_B, file_C, file_D, and then you now want to call, let's say, file_A, you type file, it will complete the file bit for you very fast because all of them are file. Then from there, it will be stuck because it is not sure if you want A, B, or C. So if you want A, you'll have to put _ A and then tab, then it will complete the rest for you. So it has to be unique enough. It has to be unique enough for auto-completion to be possible. I think that one you will meet it. If you've never met it, you will meet it properly. You will meet it properly. Key takeaways. Someone unmute atusomee hizi key takeaways tafadhali.
Patrick, kidogo swali. Ukisubmit nini, end lab kuna nini bila kumaliza?
Sorry?
End lab. Nimesema end lab lakini nini lab sikuwa nimemaliza.
Pana usi end lab kabla umaliza, lazima mpaka end. Okay, process ni hivi: start lab, fanya lab, ukimaliza lab submit lab, ukimaliza submit. Ukisha submit,
so by mistake sasa end by mistake.
So kama ume end by mistake, sadly you'll have to redo it tena. Utaifanya tena kutoka mwanzo. But kitu mzuri nayo, at least for this lab, hizi lab ni fupi na pia ni vizuri kwa practice. Si unajua umeshafanya mara ya kwanza, mara ya pili najua ukikuja kuifanya utaifanya haraka na utaifanya vizuri. Unaona? So repetition inakusaidia pia kuelewa lab vizuri.
Patrick, na swali lingine napata hii error. Not a recognized file. Unasefaje? Not a recognized file.
Not a recognized file.
File format kwa PuTTY.
Kwa PuTTY, not a recognized file format. Hiyo not a recognized file format inamaanisha key yenye unatumia, hiyo key iko na shida. I hope hautumii nini? I hope you are not trying to run ile nini ya kwanza, ile netwaje. Hautumii hiyo console.
Interchange.
Hautumii hiyo EC2 yenye tumepewa, hiyo server yenye umetengenezewa. Inafaa unatengeneza server nyingine tofauti vile tulifanya tu asubuhi. Unatengeneza server nyingine tofauti, unaipatia key pair yake, alafu hii key pair yake ndio utatumia. Tulipata hiyo ya kwanza ilikuwa na shida, ndio maana tuka create. So you need to create another server. Na kama hukushika hiyo process, utabaki nyuma after this session, because kuna watu wenye tutawasaidia through that session na pia session ya jana ya lab ya wenye wako wameshika vizuri.
Sasa.
Okay, sawa. Yes.
I also have a question. During practice, unaona kama for example, if you completed the lab successfully and then you go ahead and retry the lab, na ukosa maliza, will that affect your grade?
During practice?
Yeah, for example, if during the last session nili reattempt the lab na ikapita, it went successful, and then when I'm practice again, I try to at the same lab with a different instance and then fail. Will that change my grade?
No, it won't. It won't. The initial grade that was taken. Okay, what the system normally does, it picks your highest grade. No. Okay. It picks your highest grade. So ndio maana tunawaambia you have multiple opportunities to repeat both the labs and the KCs.
Need 20.
What for the labs, eh?
Yeah, it's limited to 20.
But 20 ni mingi kwa lab moja. 20 ni mingi. Utafanya hizo 20 zote kweli? Utafanya 20 kweli? So 20 in my book is unlimited. 20 in my book is a lot. So by the time you are at 5, unafaa uko ushapata nini yako, ushapata bearing yako. Si ndio? Cool. I like those questions. So somebody read for us these key takeaways. Nani yako area? Nataka kutusomea. Mmenyamaza mnangoja ladies wasome.
I'll read.
Who is that?
Abby.
Abby, okay, yes, Abby, tusome, thank you.
The Linux login workflow consists of the following 3 main steps. The user is prompted to authenticate with a username and password. The user's session settings are loaded from the user's profile files. The user is presented with a command prompt in the user's home directory. You can use the tab key to automatically complete commands at the command prompt. Some useful Linux commands include history, who am I, and hostname.
Awesome, 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 awesome. So you have seen all that. That is very, very important. So let us pay attention to those key points, and those key points are just awesome. Let me consult something. Let me consult just something dakika moja tu. I want to know how we are going to proceed. So one of the things that I want to encourage you guys to do, when you come to class, please, where possible, log in through your machine and always have your Canvas opened so that when we are doing these cases, we do them together. When we are doing the labs, we do them together. Because problems saa zingine inakuanga ni nini inaitwaje? Problems saa zingine inakuanga ni if you fail to do these things when we are doing them, utazipata zina pile. Na zikipile, na kwanza this week we have so many labs. Itakuwa kazi mingi. So, wapi? I was going to consult nikajipata nikapigisha story. Give me a second, let me consult Joy. Just a second. Joy, check a message. I've sent you a message.
All right, Patrick.
Okay. This lab looks short. So, saizi tumebaki na lab na KC. Those are the two things that we are left with. But I hope you guys have learned something in the session that you've had. Najua kufanya vitu technical after lunch inakuanga a bit of a drag. But kama umeenjoy the session na umelearn kitu, ka thumbs up tafadhali, tuweze kuona.
Patrick.
Yes, sir.
I have a suggestion or a question.
Yeah.
For independent
Yes.
learning, is it okay if we do the KC first and then reattempt the lab on our own time, then kesho tuambie the challenges zenye tumepatana nazo? Because if you keep on spoon feeding us, hii inafanywa hivi, the motivation for learning after the class inakuanga low.
I am liking that. Who has said that? Was that Benson?
Daniel.
Oh, Daniel. You almost sound like Benson. Oh, so I like it. I like what you said. That is a very good thing. That's a very good thing that you said. So intention, our intention or the structure that we have put in place was we just want to guide you guys at least Hadi Wednesday, Thursday, I think tomorrow or the next day. And by end of day to day, you guys will have your small groups. So in those small groups that you guys will be doing the KCs and the labs. So those KCs, in as much as you will be doing them in those groups, we want you guys to participate. Kila mtu participate. So haitakuwa mimi ama join ndo tunawaambia the answer to this is this, or this is how you do this lab, or this is how you do this KC. Sisi, you'll be sharing links in your groups, links za meet zenye mko nazo, and then we will be popping in. Or mkitutaka mnatuita, we come and help you penye mmekwama. But because we want you guys to build what Daniel has just told us, that independence is very, very important. So at the beginning of the program, mostly what we do, we just try to guide all of you, because not all of you are at the same level. Some of you guys have a good background, your IT, software dev and stuff. Others are pretty new. So out tunajaribu kuwasaidia ndo kukuwe na that ka level playing ground for all of you. I hope you make sense. Daniel. Dan?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yes. So rest assured, we totally appreciate that, and that is exactly what we have planned. So as soon as tomorrow or Thursday, you guys will be in those small groups, and we will have the groups will have group leaders, and the way we are going to choose group leaders, it has already been determined. We have been seeing people that are participating, we have been seeing people that are helping others. Unajua hii kitu ni volunteership, kulead group ni volunteer na
no, nilikuwa na suggest hii lab ya leo ya afternoon kila mtu ajifanyie leo usiku, kesho tukwambie mahali tumekwama as a recap early in the morning. KC tufanye si wote pamoja leo in the evening. Then lab ufanye usiku. Ama ni vile nimeitiwa kitu mahali.
Umeitiwa kitu? Umeitiwa kitu wapi?
We need money bana.
Wewe hakuna mambo na kuitiwa vitu kwanza saa hizi. Okay, we totally understand that. We totally understand that. But I promise you, this lab will be short. I'm just going to demonstrate it. We are not even going to our breakout groups today. A 20 breakout. So I'll just walk you through this, and then you go and attempt it. After I have shown you how it is done, go and attempt it, and then kesho, I believe I'm the one taking you in the morning class. We will start from here. Mtaniambia shida ilikuwa wapi. Si ndio? Mtaniambia mlipata challenge wapi. Na hata msingoje mpaka kesho. We have a group on WhatsApp. Post it there. No, post it there. Ukiwa successful, chapa screenshot, weka pale, sema success. Na tusonge hivyo hivyo. Makes sense. So sitaki kuwakalisha sana. So kama mnataka kuchukua hiyo challenge vile Dana ameisema, follow me as I do it. Just watch. Kutakuwa na recording, by the way. Kutakuwa na recording. So si lazima tufanye na mimi saizi. But kutokea kesho, hakuna mambo na ati mnaenda kufanya lab usiku. Lab mnafanya during the allocated time. Mnatoka session, mnaingia kwa hizo groups zenyu ndogo ndogo, mnafanya lab, mnafanya cases, you go home. Tayari mko home. Unaendelea na maisha ya siku, having done everything, because those things are tracked. Lazima mpaka wajue leo watu wamefanya na watu wamemaliza. So my lab is ready. Now, this is what you are going to do. Thanks, Joy. Thanks, Jay. Thank you for that. Sawa. So, now you are able to see my screen. So wacha tufanye hii lab teke, alafu tukimalizana na lab, we can now be able to do other things. We can now be able to do the KC. So, objective in this lab, you will run commands to gain knowledge of your current system and current session, search and run previous bash commands. So the duration for this lab is 30 minutes, and this lab is pretty easy because it's something that we've already done. So I told you that these instructions that you see here was in a repeat over and over. So in the process of time, you will just know this is what they are saying. Like here they are saying, click start lab. After start lab, wait for, okay, view yangu yenye naona hapa ni ya instructor, hii ya student. Ya student, this AWS thingy, inakuanga na hii side alafu iko na ka dot. So you wait for that dot to turn, ikuwe na color, ile color yenye nafaa, the green. Green ndo inakwambia ready to go. Then, then you'll click on AWS, which will open the AWS console. I'll not click on it because I've already done that. And then they are advising you that you can arrange them side by side. You can arrange the instruction on one side and then your terminal on one side, so that now you'll be able to do what? You'll now be able to do the lab vizuri ukisoma instruction. Then task 1, how many tasks do we have? We have like 3 tasks. 3 tasks. Na hizi tasks mrefu. So, what your Windows, mambiwa how to do it. I am already connected via PuTTY, so we are good. So I'll not do this. This one we've already done, and our session is still on. Our session is still on. That is good. Then what Mac OS, mko hapo na instructions zenyu. Then task number 2 is to run familiar commands. In this exercise, you run a few commands to gain some general knowledge of the system and session that you are using. From the terminal, enter WHOA, W-H-O-A. and press tab. Notice that the autocomplete feature displays the full command, who am I? Now let us try that. In fact, let me do this. Let me do that. Where is that? Let me screen mbili. So, okay, good. Yeah, makubali. And then on this other, we get this one, and then to put it there. So, pole kama hiyo inakaa ndogo, that is the much I can do. Okay, no, hiyo sio instructions zote. So, wanasema hapa, we write who are, see what I've done, and then you click tab, who am I? No, ime autocomplete for me the command. Ime autocomplete for me the command, then enter. When you enter, there is our username, EC2 user. Then enter hostname space -s. Enter hostname space -s and press enter to display a shortened version of computer's hostname. So let's do that. We do hostname, okay? Space -s, enter. Unaona, imechukua ile hostname refu, imeikata into that. Imeikata into that. So we have our IP -- evil. So that is what we have there. And then next we look at enter uptime -p and press enter to display the uptime of the system in an easily readable format. So your -p makes it ni kama inai-arrange vizuri. I don't know wala tu HTML. Tulikuwa tunatumianga p when you're trying to write our content into a paragraph. Kuiorganize vizuri ndo ukirun that index.html, you'll be able to see words zako ziko vizuri kwako kaki paragraph ama ni container. Kitambo tangu nifanye hiyo. So we do uptime -p, enter. You see, up 1 hour, 29 minutes. Very nice, very clean, kitu safi, easy to read. Kuliko, compare that with uptime bila hiyo. Unaona, messy kila mahali. But if you do uptime -p, you get something clean. No, you get something clean. Then figure. Okay, those are the commands zimekuwa outputted from the terminal. Enter who space H space A and press enter to display information about the users who are logged in and some additional information. So let's try that. Who -h -a. So let's enter. Unaona, inakuonyesha the different ones. Now it is in a table of sorts. We have name, we have line, we have time, we have idle, we have PID, we have comment and exit. I believe is in the juu, and then every other thing you can see it organized vizuri. Let me finya nini yetu. Let me finya our thing. Enter TZ equals to America/New York date and press enter. Then enter TZ equals to this Los Angeles date. This command identifies the date and time of alternate locations in the world. Let's try that. That one looks cool. TZ time zone equals America/New _ York date and press enter. That is the date and time in New York. And then the other one anasema time zone capital. Time zone equals America/Los Angeles date, enter. Yeah, you see now, one of them is in EDT, another one is in PDT, Eastern date, Pacific date. So you have it hivyo inakuonyesha time. So that is that. And then we continue. Some professions use the Julian date to conduct business. the Julian format continues consecutively instead of restarting the date at 1 at the beginning of each month. For example, in the Gregorian calendar format, the date after January 31st is February 1st. However, the Julian format, the date after January 31st is February 32nd instead of February 1st. You can check this information by entering Cal-J in your terminal to see the Julian dates of your current month. That's interesting. Yes, Jua. Cal -J. Enter. So today is October, Tuesday, date 287. So learn today 287. Na tunasonga tu. Then enter Cal-S or Cal-M commands to display alternate views of the calendar. So let us try that. Cal-S, enter. Okay, let me even do clear first. Clear, that's what did you. Then we enter that one, Cal.S. That one, we have that. Hiyo ni tarehe ya leo. Then we try Cal dot dash, not dot dash M. You see? So those are what? Wamesema when you do that, it gives you what? To display alternate views of the calendar. Alternate views. So it's a calendar showing us the date of today, but shown in different views. So we have view 1 and view 2, stuff like that. You see those commands. Task 3, improve workflow through history and search. Improve workflow through history and search. And this one he did. In this task, we'll attempt to ease your overall workload by reusing commands through search techniques, manual visualization of the bash history log, and reuse of last command. Start by viewing the current bash history, enter history, and press enter. In the output, check if the command that you see are the commands that you used in task 2. So we are going to enter history. Those are the commands. See all the commands that we entered ziko hapo. So these commands are more. For mine, there are more because I was using the same terminal also to do the examples when I was doing the notes. So it's Jalik Wiswi. So what you're supposed to be focused on is from 73 downwards, is it on Zai Lab. And then to search your previous history, press Ctrl-R to bring up a reverse history search. Ctrl-R. Let us see. Ctrl-R. Imeleta reverse hapa chini. Reverse I search. And then in the reverse history search feature of the terminal, enter TZ and tab. Wanasema hapa we enter TZ and then tab. There you go. You see, TZ America Los Angeles date. So this is like one of those that one of the commands that we used. This step brings up an old use of date command that you can edit. Use your arrow button. Use your arrow buttons. You can now edit the command line. So here you can choose. You can decide to edit this the way you want. Maybe you want to change even the name to like which city. Let us use Miami. Miami date. Tuone kama itatupatia kitu. Ndio hiyo. Imetupatia date ya Miami. Unaona? Date and time for Miami. Something like that. So if you want to edit, you can use that. First of all, you use Ctrl-R. It brings it. You edit it. You use what you want to do. So that is what is explained here. We will not read through that. And then enter date into the terminal and press enter. Then enter these two and press enter. This step gives you the ability to rerun the most recent command. So if I run date and enter, that's what we have clear. Let's clear it first. Then do date, enter. That's what we have. Then we do double quotation, enter. So we have the date command, yani the most recent command that we've used. Hiyo ndo unatumia that double quotation mark to do. So the figure here above, it just shows us the same thing. And that one there, ladies and gentlemen, marks the end of our lab session. That marks the end of our lab session. That is what we were doing. And this is what I want you guys to do. And as I told you, once you are done with the lab, what you do, you Okay. Yangu pia kona submit, but mine, it might give me an error because I'm not logged in as a student, or even as a student, I'm a test student. So you start first of all by submitting. Then after you've submitted, then you do what? Then you end the lab. You know, after you've submitted, then you end the lab. That was the lab. Kuna kitu mtu hajashika hapo?
Hello.
Yes.
Will you
Purity.
please how to configure PuTTY for the last time?
Okay, what we will do, we will configure PuTTY after tukimaliza KC. Kuna watu ndabaki now, we will start all the way from huko configure PuTTY. So don't worry, we will do it. We'll do it. I hope utakuwa area.
Yeah.
Sindio? Sawa. So kama kuna mtu yote akona shida na PuTTY na the initial setups za lab, please remain behind. We'll sort you immediately after we are done with our KCs. So let us move on to the KC. Najua leo imekuwa ni kimarathon kidogo. Yes, sir.
Alafu si unaweza leo recording ya leo at least tupitie.
Sawa. What we will do, give us like 1 hour hivi after class. I think itakuwa imemaliza kurenda. Ikisharenda, we have prepared nini. Joy has helped us to prepare an Excel sheet penye tuna save links to the recordings. So we will share that Excel sheet with you guys so that you can go there and just click the recording that you'd like to maybe rewatch or refollow. Okay. That was painful. Okay. So that is that. Let us look at the KC. So KC yetu ya leo ilikuwa ni mambo na Linux command line, na hii tutafanya tu haraka haraka because ni vitu rahisi. So let me just share my screen because of time. Tulikuwa tunataka tu release mapema. Yani tusiwafikishe 5 leo. But let's see how fast we can do this. Aha, okay. Knowledge checks. Okay, knowledge checks. Number 1, what is the name of the default Linux shell? What is the name of the default Linux shell? Unmute, andika kwa chat. Let's participate. What is the name of the default Linux shell? Bash. Yes, bash it is. Okay. Bash. Oh, answers. Okay, no problem. Which keyboard key automatically completes commands in the default Linux shell? This one you've talked about it. Is it Control, Enter, Shift, or Tab?
Tab.
Thank you. Nimeona pia answers za hapo iko sawa. Which keyboard key retrieves the last command that you entered in the default Linux shell? Angela. Okay, nimeona. Ladies are shining hapo kwa chat. It is the up arrow. It is the up arrow. That is very nice. Next. Which command displays the name of the account that you are logged in as the default Linux shell? That you are logged in as in the default Linux shell. Ni gani?
Who am I?
Who am I? Mimi ni nani? Mimi ni nani? Who am I? Next. Aya. Which command displays the name of the computer that you are logged into in the default Linux shell? Name of the computer you are logged into. Ni command gani? Naona mnang'ara pale kwa chat. The answer is host name. Host name. Next, host name. So when you submit, yangu inakaa kitambo. Sinipe error kwa sababu mimi si student. Let's see. Then let me see. You see 5 out of 5. So this is 100%. Okay, cases za kitambo zilikuwa zinakaanga hivi. And then the interface ilikuwa inakaa hivi. So they have reserved this one for instructors, and then you guys have your own view. So nyinyi mkiona hapo 100%. 100%. Ama sijui kama pia itakaa hivi, but sijaangalia student inakaje. Maybe they've changed some things. But that is that. So we are done with the lab. We have done the lab, we have done the lesson, and we have done the KC. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you guys have learned something. I hope you enjoy lesson. So, ndo tumeanza Linux. So, kutokea kesho tunazidi kuenda. We are going deeper and deeper into Linux. So, please don't miss tomorrow's class. Come early, come ready. And if possible, go through today's lesson, soma notes, andika short notes zako, just understand them, because this kind of knowledge you will use it hata mpaka kwa jobo. Hata ufundishi tu vitu za kukram. These are things that you'll use mpaka kwa jobo. So thank you so much for your time, and thank you for coming for class. I believe I'm done. Joy, Esther, any announcements?
Patrick.
Yes.
You ain't done.
I went what?
Where was you done?
Kwenda huko.
Usikue serious sana bana. Learning should be fun.
Yes, it is. But I'm a very easy person. I'm a very easy person. I hope I was not very serious in that class. Hey,
I'm joking.
Zilikuwa vitu kong. Yeah,
and congratulations. Leo tumemaliza mapema. Ndaenda job.
Wenda ulikuwa unatuambia uko na shughuli, unataka kwenda kutafuta za cabbage.
Yeah, exactly. Sitaki kuinama kama mtu mwingine hapa.
Sawa. That's awesome. So do we have any announcements?
Hi, Patrick.
Yes. Hi.
Thank you for the class. And ambia Daniel akitafuta za cabbage. Asambazie watu, hata sisi tunaweza taka za cabbage.
Joy.
Yes.
Nilikuambia niko ushago, ukitaka nikutumie kuku ya kienyeji wewe sema.
Nimesema.
Drop in huku kuna kuanga na Bolt ride.